you as well, for accountability reasons. All right, taking you back to Mr. Taiwo, you want to comment on that as well?
Well, I strongly support the position of the barrister in the sense, and just like your own line of thought as well. Local government is the closest to the people. That's the government at the grassroots. Just like I said, it is easy for me if there's anything that is wrong. I can go on a protest to local government, even to state. But can I easily go to Abuja? I can't go to Abuja. And I want to cite an instance. This in the last 1 year and about 4 months thereabouts. Do you know how much has gone to state government? Do you know how much has gone to local government? Are we seeing it? That money, the subsidy remover, the money that has been removed from subsidy that are now going to states and going to local government. Can we really say we are seeing it in practice in all those local government and all these states? Why? So that means that we should even hold more accountable our governors and our local government officials, because they are the closest. They are receiving more money now, and what they are doing, are they commensurate with the money they have been receiving since we have been thrown into this trouble of subsidy remover? They have been getting more money. So we need to ask our governors, we need to ask our council chairmen, what have they been doing with this huge amount of money that they have been collecting?
Because just to wrap up this part of the conversation, we're still focusing on Edo. But one thing is, I'm not abreast with the responsibility of local, but I know for sure that they are to oversee primary healthcare. When we talk about healthcare at the grassroots level, the healthcare that we have in the country, they are nothing to write home about. You go and you see toilets just behind it. It's terrible. Pregnant women can't even get access to it. And then out of school children is a big issue in the country right now. I know that is hugely the primary responsibility of the state and local government. At the federal level, yes, they have some role to play, but I know that the local government is supposed to oversee that children on the streets, out of school children, and even social welfare. Yes, road construction. I think even cleanliness. The federal government will not come and sweep for you. There are some, areas that when it comes to waste management and all that, the state government, local government, should look at the drainage systems. We have the issue of flood coming up. But not to take it away, Biodo, you're going to ask, please, you're going to come in soon, but I don't want to forget this. You talked about still looking at Obaseki and Oshomole and Igodalo. Obaseki's who is endorsing the candidate for the PDP. You mentioned something about godfatherism. That's a thing that plays out even at federal level of elections, state and local. So, what are your thoughts on godfatherism? In Nigeria during elections.
Yes, I think this issue of godfatherism had been one of the big bane of our political system in this country, and that has played out because you find that most of the parties are not self-sustaining financially. All right, most of our parties in many advanced countries, if you are a member of a political party, there are some financial responsibilities that you have to that party. But that is not in place in all our political parties. They are not generating money from their members. Okay? So that's number one. Number two is that you discover that the account and the accounting system of many of our political parties are shrouded in mystery. Even the INEC that is supposed to be supervising their accounts and their budget don't do it. Okay, so you are not even sure of the asset or liability of most of these political parties. What are the contributions that are being made? They are supposed to raise money from their own members. If you go to like the Democrat Party in the US or the Republican Party, they raise funds to be able to carry out their functions. They do a lot of social engagement, community development projects to be able to make money for the party. Okay. And whenever there is a candidate, the candidate does not use his own money. There are laws that regulate it. You cannot donate. In America today, you can't donate more than $5,000 if it's a company. You can't donate more than $5,000 to any election campaign of anybody. And if you are a private individual, you can't donate more than $1,000.
Elon Musk donated about $45 million to Trump.
That's very strange. That's very strange. Very strange. Because there are laws regulating it in America. You shouldn't. And of course, in America, that's how they generate money all over. And it also allows for participation, because a lot of members of the public who believe in your political party can now donate or put money in that party to push the election of a candidate and all that. They don't have the godfatherism. But in Nigeria, it's a completely different scenario. One single person brings out all the money for somebody to be a governor of a state. And he who pays the piper will obviously dictate the two. That's why the benefit or the dividend of democracy does not get to the people at the end of the day. Because when that governor gets into office, he has to pay back. In fact, there is a discussion going on among some of my friends in Edo State. Yesterday we were chatting, you know, and some of them were telling me that well, this is off here now. That the reason why APC is desperate is that they want to get the money they spent in the last election, over 9 billion that they spent in the last election against Obaseki, and they lost. So they have to win that election at all costs and all of. So you find that there are lots of these causes where godfathers are involved. Oshomole has spent so much, for instance, on Monday Okpebolo. Obaseki is spending so much on Asue Igodalu.
Yeah. So Barrister, if we let you go on and on, Mr. Tayo will not even say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are going out of time. No, you're actually making a lot of sense. It's just that, you know, we have to hear from Mr. Tayo as well. Your thoughts on godfatherism. Yes. Where do you think we can get it right? And also, for the sake of time, because I don't want to interject, there are conversations around the performance of INEC. What do you think, you know, would be tying the hands of INEC as regards elections in Nigeria? There are talks about, you know, independent appointments of the chairman, not coming from the federal government, you know, even at the state level, the local government election. What do you think? Commissions, electoral commissions, what's the way forward? And then continue from where he stopped off.
Well, regarding appointment into INEC, well, I am also of the opinion that maybe we have a selected body, or maybe a National Assembly can also assist us in that regard, because just like the barrister said, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And in most cases, you see, and that's, you know, I said something about the body language earlier, that when I appoint you as INEC chairman, either at the state or at the federal government level, of course, ordinarily, you also want to say, give something back to me. You also want to, you know, do things that will make me happy, that will make, I've appointed somebody of that I trust, you know. So it would be nice, sincerely, if we can have our electoral officers not appointed either by the president or by the state governor in the case of state electoral commission. And that's why we can have that truly independence. We know we say independent national electoral commission. It is not independent because somebody still appointed them. Though for INEC at the federal level it will be ratified by the Senate. And we could recall the controversies that trailed some of the appointments into even the federal into INEC during the last screening at the National Assembly. We all saw it. We all saw it that some people are saying, this is a causing. Okay, see what is going on. What is playing out in even Edo State, that they said the current the REC, that's the resident electoral commissioner is of course there's also has a link to the minister of FCT and the likes. So it would be nice if we can have an independent body, but how independent would that body also be, since we are also going to select them among ourselves? So, but for the other side, the godfatherism, whether we like it or not, I'm not sure. It will take a long time for us to limit it or to reduce it or to take it away from our political environment. It will take a very long time because our parties lacks ideology. You see somebody in party A today, tomorrow is in party B. You see somebody in party B today, tomorrow, because the times do not favor him, he quickly move on. Than even is there any top politician that can really point to that has not crisscrossed all the political parties, all the major political parties? So if indeed we have an ideology in our political setting, our political structure, you won't see them jumping
on a lighter note, we haven't seen, this is not to endorse, but we haven't seen Akpata yet jump to any party.
Just coming in.
So in the near future, we might see him in the PDP or
Akpata is just coming in.
We hope not. Anyway,
Akpata is just coming in.
Or the PRP lady, she hasn't jumped to any party yet. So.
Those are new.
Oh, all right. Because we're running out of time, so I just want to say, for the Edo elections now, where does it leave us? Because you mentioned something before, I just wanted to point it out. So we've had Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo elections since President Tinubu came on board. So this is going to be about the fourth one. And of course, many people are looking out to the outcome. But a concern for me and so many other people is the fact that do you think that the INEC will be the judge of this election, judge in court, and we don't have a case where the elections will have to go to the tribunals, then all the way to Supreme Court? Do you have expectations that the INEC is going to do?
Whether you like it or not, do you think any governorship election will go without being challenged in the courts?
Sometimes.
That is,
because we had, in the case of Habia, for example,
okay,
the PDP acknowledged that Alex Oti won, and they said, okay, they were not going to go to court. I think that's the first,
okay. Maybe that is 1 out of 10 cases that you will see a governorship election or presidential election conducted, and those who lost out will not say no, I was rigged out, my supporters were not allowed to vote, or all sort of discrepancies, so to say. So I want to see INEC, if indeed, if for instance, if you have about 2 million registered voters to vote in this, I'm just saying for instance, this Edo election, and indeed people are allowed to do to allow to vote their conscience, I'm sure whoever came second or third will accept defeat wholeheartedly, if indeed the exercise was transparent, was fair, and was good enough. But
so how are we going to know when it's fair or not? Which we now will determine what is fair.
I said something earlier on about this, the process not being open yet. For instance, look, we are not even sure what INEC is going to do tomorrow. Nobody is sure in Edo State.
Do how, Barrister?
What the process will look like. Is it going to be an electronic voting? Would there be any electronic transmission? Or will it be manual transmission? There should be clear indication of how the process will look like. We had that problem during the previous election, and we expected that INEC. That's why I don't have confidence in INEC. What we are calling INEC today, if you ask me, Yakubu should be removed from that place.
No, Barrister, but it's what we have. We need to have.
Well, that's what we have. That's what we have, unfortunately. That's what we have, unfortunately. But the process is not laid out now. We are not even sure how it's going to be collated, whether it's going to be electronically transmitted, whether technology is going to be used, or it's just going to be the old manual system that is going to be adopted, and all of that. Then the display of register of voters, usually months before, you will have displayed the register of voters.
But that one they've disclosed to us. They said about 2-point-something million people.
No, they are to display it at the various constituencies. What the law says is that those registers should be displayed at the constituency months before the election. That has not been done. And people are supposed to check their names, see whether they are in any polling booth they are going to vote. All of that has not been done.
So, Mr. Taiwo and Barrister Olaleya, we're going to have a post-election conversation, obviously. There's still a lot to go over. We're out of time. In 40 seconds, Barrister, Mr. Taiwo, wrap up your thoughts, because, what everything going on in Edo State, and by extension, how should Nigerians get more involved in elections?
Well, tomorrow is the judgment day for the people of Edo State. And sincerely, I want
for the governor, for those contesting, not the people of Edo State.
Okay. Okay, I stand to be corrected.
But your face is all tied to it.
I stand to be corrected. And for me, I want to see a very conducive atmosphere in Edo State tomorrow. I remember our former president, Goodluck Jonathan, said, the blood of a single Nigerian does not really worth my being voted for. So, if we want to go by that comment from the former president, that's a single blood, a single Nigerian does not really want to die before I'm elected as the president. So let's everybody go to the poll, vote your conscience, vote the candidate of your choice, and return home peacefully.
Yeah, all right, Barrister.
Yes, I think the INEC should ensure that the votes of the people count, because that's where the problem is. Just like Stalin said, it's not those who voted that determines the outcome of an election. It is those who count it. So we are expecting that INEC will ensure that what they are presenting is the authentic result of that state, so that there is no violence.
All right, Barrister, thank you so much. Big thanks to you both for making this a brilliant one, as always. Really insightful. Abiodun Adekunle, Your thoughts so far, quickly, 30 seconds.
Oh,
you know?
I think I expect maybe a credible process tomorrow. I'm being very optimistic. So maybe on Monday we'll come and discuss the outcome of the election.
Yeah, post election.
But I want to give the INEC
conversation.
benefit of the doubt, unlike Barrister.
And
No, I
security
don't give them any
agencies as well,
benefit
and
of the
CSOs,
Yes,
everybody
yes,
involved.
But
Even
let them
Nigerians,
work hard.
please let's get more involved
the
in
right thing.
elections in Nigeria. Nobody should say, oh, this one no consign me, that one no consign me. Get your PVCs, be actively involved. Let's elect credible leaders beyond, bias or tribe or so. I was going to ask about zoning, but we don't have that time anymore. Anyway, let's do this again tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Spotlight. Oh, I beg your pardon. Tomorrow, you see, I was carried away. It's not tomorrow. Monday, same time, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Have a very colorful weekend. Much love from all of us at Super FM.
92.7 Super FM.
Attention, y'all.